Well, you've got a big week coming up.
I do, my goodness.
What's going on? What are you doing?
Yeah, just heading over to the other side of the world, to Central America, to Guatemala.
Amazing.
To join 100 other like-minded, ambitious entrepreneurs who want to have a big impact. Want to make, shake things up.
Yes.
So I'm very excited.
How good.
And nerve-sided. I like your
Yep.
word, like nerve-sided. Like it's like that whole, do I belong? Am I going to, who am I to go and join a bunch of people like this? And then there's also the, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Absolutely. I'll fix your microphone. There we go. Yeah, so good. We were just like reflecting before about we don't often stop and reflect on how far we've come or celebrate the small wins, and like that we're actually living the dream that we could only have dreamed of. Well, not even, to be honest. Like when we first started, if you'd said like, in 12 months' time you're going to be heading off to the other side of the world with this group of people, you'd be like, what?
Yeah.
So it's just a bit of time to celebrate and reflect on how far we've come and what we're doing next, and just the journey that we're on, and talk a little bit about like how we got this far. This is just the beginning. We're only warming up.
This is the warm-up, baby. Yep. And I think it's essentially the going all in, right? Like, and having that level of trust and faith that if I can dream it, I can do it.
Yeah, absolutely. If it's in your awareness, it's already available to you. Yeah, and I think there's what we're going to share, or what we're going to talk into today is probably one of the biggest missing pieces of the puzzle, had been for me, because I was doing all the doing, and we talk about this a lot, but I was doing all the doing and not trusting myself, or not leaning into my own power, my own like knowing. And I think that's what's kind of led us here today, right? Even when it does not make any sense. Our favourite thing, if it feels uncomfortable and you don't want to do it, you must.
You must. You simply must. Yes, I think, the idea that, by achieving certain things or creating certain things, that then somehow I was going to be able to scratch the itch that was just constantly there. I think that's the awakening I got, right? Like, was like, oh, hang on, I've got all the things. I still don't feel very good about any of it, though. And so what next? What the hell now?
Yes.
Like, and I think it was so difficult to see what was happening when I was in the thick of it. Like, I just couldn't comprehend, why did I not feel successful even though I had all the markings of a successful person, from what from my definition, right? From what I took on at a young age of what the definition of successful was. And it was like, okay, but I've done it. Here you go. Like, why doesn't it feel good? And then that made it feel even worse, because I was like, oh, so how ungrateful are you? Like, how messed up are you that you can't sit back and enjoy and even just feel the beautiful things that are around you.
I think that's what can happen that's the misalignment, when you are not trusting your intuition or your gut instincts or your gut knowing, or you're not actually living and speaking your truth. You feel so out of alignment, and that sometimes I resonate with that so much, because it was happening for me, but I actually had no idea that that's what it was. I just felt uncomfortable, but didn't really know what or why, and just carried on. And like I talk about it being on like autopilot, right? And just going through the motions and just settling for, well, this must be just as good as it gets, whatever, not realizing that I actually was turning off my power and dimming my own light and keeping myself small and comfortable, even though underneath it all it just felt there was something off. I couldn't quite put my finger on it. And I think a lot of people that potentially we can see and that we speak to, like, don't even realize that they're doing it too, right? Like, you can see there's so much untapped potential there, and yet they can't actually see that for themselves. And I think that's probably one of our biggest gifts, is like we can see that in other people, and it might be a blessing and a curse, because it's like, oh my gosh, like, I just wish you could see like how amazing you are and how powerful you are. But no one's ever given you the space or the opportunity, or maybe you've never had the realization that that's actually available or within you.
Yeah, the permission to explore it, right? Like, I don't think I ever gave myself permission to really explore it, and I'm always on the higher end of the spectrum to Ash, you know, in terms of these things where it was like I was raging, right? I was raging inside of myself because I wasn't following my own instinct in situations time and time again. And that meant that there was all of this pent up like energy and discomfort and frustration that then used to come out sideways in the wrong situations. Because it had to go somewhere. And I wasn't allowing it when it was needed, when it was actually required, when it was going to be, you know, pivotal in making a choice to go one way or the other way. I was like shutting that down and crushing it down and numbing it down for as long as I could, and eventually, you know, it used to come out in all the wrong ways, in all the wrong places.
Leaking energy. Like, we spend so much time focusing on, suppressing, pushing our feelings away, ignoring our gut, ignoring our intuition, ignoring our feelings, and it just, was what we talk about, like leaking energy. If you can harness that and actually put it into what it is that you're meant to be doing, like, holy
moly,
what happens?
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's not an energy problem. You're not lacking energy or motivation. It's misalignment. You're putting your energy into something that you actually, if you sit with it properly, whether it's a relationship, a work situation, exercise, health, whatever, if you actually sit with your truth, if it's not working, it's for a reason, right? Like, you're harnessing your energy into the wrong place.
Yeah, and I was literally petrified of that idea. Like, I was literally petrified because I had this knowing that I was so out of like touch with myself, that it just seemed so overwhelming, though. Like, where do I begin?
And it also is overwhelming because the answer is actually you. Like, you don't get to blame anybody anymore. You don't get to be the victim of life and the world and all of the terrible things that have happened. It's like, shit, I have to own this.
Oh, right.
Yeah. And how great is that?
Oh my gosh.
And all you have to do is slow down and listen and tune in.
Yeah.
Some people are forced.
Yep. Absolutely kicking and screaming.
Mm-hmm. And others have the little slow trickle.
Yeah.
And something like a death, that's pretty full on though, to be fair. Like, it's a bit of a slap around the face to a wake up call. But the pain has to be enough, or the wake up call has to be loud enough. I heard someone say in a book that I'm listening to at the moment, it's like the phone is ringing. It's whether you are willing to pick up and answer the call. And so, like, for me, it was, I could hear it on the first couple of rings when Dad passed away, whereas for you, it was, you were putting that thing to voicemail quite a few times.
Yeah, just keep.
And it's like the debt collector's coming around to the house and knocking on the door. That's where the stage you let it get to. Someone else had to take matters into their own hands, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, that's, that's the level of how out of touch I was with myself, and how far I was, how far lost I had got. Yeah.
And there's no right or wrong, good or bad, in terms of when you pick up the phone. It's just, it happens for us all at different times. And some, again, like for me, I didn't even hear it ringing. It took Dad to die for me to actually hear.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful that I did, because it's totally changed my life. Like, on how I can move forward in my life now. That was the opportunity that I needed, right? And I know that you feel the same. Everything happens for a reason, and without the pain, there's no light without darkness.
Yeah. And I think, I obviously just required that level of severity of the discomfort to make a shift, and then a shift so great that I didn't just shut the door, I burnt the bloody bridge.
Yeah.
Like it was like, there is no going back that way, and I think I'm so grateful for that, because that inner work of looking at yourself and starting to actually see the things and then start to change things is not for the faint-hearted. And so there's many times where it's like, I don't know, maybe back there would have been. And I've had the privilege of not having to look back over my shoulder. There's just no looking back, which I think is just, speaks into that, just having that unbelievable trust and faith that there's only moving forward, and slowly starting to tuning in and like patiently waiting for and interpreting like some of the insights and the downloads I started to get around what baby step to take next. Like I think the expectation I had was, like the burning bush and the freaking writing on the wall, like I needed to be spelled out, and that's just not how it happens. And I think even if it is, I wouldn't have believed it, and I would have gone and done another, the opposite anyway, because I don't like being told what to do. So the fact that, it was like one day at a time, like one step at a time, just make that decision, take some action. It was, a little bit like tuning into the radio and finding the right station.
Finding your frequency, not listening to all the other noise all around and getting influenced by everything else, the shoulds, the musts, shoulding all over yourself.
Yeah, and
but it can be tricky, right? When you're programmed to a certain way, and things are a certain way, and we do this because that means X, Y, Z. It's really hard to break out of that and trust your gut, even when it does not make sense, and even when it's going against everything that anybody else is doing, or that your loved ones and your friends and family think that you should be doing. To still just stand so strong in what you believe in and what your heart, like when you can tune into your intuition, your inner knowing, like your higher self, whatever it is that you want to call it, when you can tune into that and just know and trust that, when everything else around you logically doesn't make sense, it's tough at the time.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And I think that's when having the right humans around you is absolutely critical. We can't help but reach out and seek the opinions of others to check in and see, am I being rational here? Is this what I should be doing? And so often it's with the best intention that others project their own fear onto you and what you are wanting to do. And if we allow that to stop us, it's, as I said, it's going back and playing small, or going back to how it was before. And I think I was so blessed that I had not only like burnt that motherfucking bridge, there was no going back on it, but I had such incredible human beings around me who were like, you bloody go for it. Like I was, this is
because your the contrast was like not okay. Like the way you were living before was like, we don't anything but that for you, right? Like we're great. Like you go for it.
Yeah, that's the gift of the truck, right? Being smashed by a truck is that everybody's like, whoa, dude, just don't go back to doing that, okay? So like, If it seems even slightly away from that, everybody's like, we're all in with you. You do that, you know. So, not that it was just irrational, you know, ridiculousness. I was being somewhat logical about what the direction I was moving in. Though I'd say that there was some little squeezy moments for sure.
Of course, as always, you go through the wormhole. Whereas for me, it was totally different because I had come from something so comfortable being my skin business. And then I distinctly remember having our first chat here together, having a cup of tea, like kind of sussing out what each other was up to, and then we made the decision, like, yeah, we're going to do something together, like, great. And I left here and I was so lit up, like, so excited. And then I went home to Scott and shared with him what we were going to be doing. Like, I had no idea what that was, but I was like, we're going to do something together, like, da-da-da. And of course, he's like, holy shit, what do you mean? Like, you've got this great business. Like, why would you... Yeah. What do you mean you're not going to do that anymore? Like, what does that look like? And of course, he had been injured, so he wasn't working. So it was like scary for him, right? And I get it, totally. And I fully let his projections take over, and I just shut it. Then I went into fear too, right? Like, oh my God, yeah, oh my God, is this the right thing to do? And it's so easy to do that when you're not, because at that point I did not have I was just the spark of my my intuition and my inner knowing, like this feeling aligned with what I wanted was just starting to, it was that little ember and it was starting to reignite, but I hadn't fully owned that, right? I could feel it, but yeah, then it was so easy for me to get hit by his fear, which is totally justified, like he's allowed to feel that for sure, but it really let that come over me again. And that's when we fall down, and like what you're saying, having people in your corner, because then I could come back to you and then I know, okay, I got a little bit wobbly there, but no, we're back on the right track. And like I think that's where we've gone so much faster together, because it's one of us will have a wobble and the other one is there ready to get back on track. And I think that's what we are able now to do for other people, and it's so powerful, like being in the right environment, having people around you who see your potential. And that's what we see in each other, right? It's like, I don't see you share your limitations with me and I'm like, what? Like, I don't see that. And vice versa. It's like all I see is just your absolute power and your potential and what I can see in you and what you're capable of, and having somebody there to see that in you without all the crap that because you've got enough crap going on in your own mind. You don't need somebody else's all over you as well, right?
No. And I think that's why personal transformation isn't a do-it-yourself job.
No way.
It's a do it with others, for sure. Because there's inevitably going to be moments of doubt. Inevitably. Like, we are wired to stay in our comfort zone. And so when we're pushing out onto the edges and starting to do something new, you inevitably are going to have that sense of like, oh, I should go back. Sure. And it's when others are who see you who are like, no, let's keep moving forward. And
not ignore the doubt.
No.
This is where we work through it. Like, it's
Absolutely.
not about suppressing it or pushing it away. It's like working through it and then using it as your fuel. Because actually in the work that we do is show you how those fears and those resistance, like that is actually the power, right? Like that's where you can really use that to lean in.
Well, it was like what you said at the beginning with like leaking energy, is that if you are leaking energy by fighting parts of you, I've just got to overcome myself to get where I want to go, that takes, energy to do that. Whereas when it's more in harmony with, you can see that there's a part of you that's doubting because that part is serving you in some way. It's wanting to keep you safe. I want things to be certain, okay, there's some acceptance around that, and then move forward is like with your whole self, not like at disease with it all. That means that momentum and the energy that you have to put towards what you actually want to do is just, you get all of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so it's definitely being able to tune into yourself, trust that, and then not let other people's projections derail you. And you can start to feel it when it's happening, because you get the wobbles on and it starts to feel a bit crunchy or like there's a differentiation though, right? Like between it misalignment and then just going through that wormhole of like before you pop out the other side.
Oh, absolutely. And I think it's like any skill, right? As you get better at it, as you practice it more, you get more into being able to recognize the difference, right? Between like, oh, hang on, am I being pushed somewhere where I'm not happy with how this feels and I don't want to do it? Or am I just pushing outside of my comfort zone and breaking an old pattern to step into something new? And those things at first were very confusing for me. They were the same.
Yeah.
It was just like, I don't like this, so I'm not going to do it. Or like, I don't like this, so, you know. Especially for me at first, because I was trying to break the habit of ignoring myself and just pushing through and doing things anyway. So like I had the challenge of not doing that to myself anymore. And then that started to feel really strange, because it was like, okay, but then am I just being lazy here, or am I just like not doing the things? Like, so it can get quite confusing at first, because it's, you know, I'm still trying to tune in that dial. I haven't really like sussed out how it feels and then which thing to trust. Whereas like now, like I dial that in all the time, and it's just like, they're completely polar, right? Like for me, if there's any sense of urgency or like this must happen and it's kind of panicky and it's like a fear-based like pressure, then it's like, I'm going to spend more time with this. I'm going to feel for what. But if it's just a calm, like, that's what I'm going to do, then we're all in, baby. Here we go.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think when you can, like both of us are we are 100% aligned with what we're doing. And we talked about like, it's not, and this is coming from a good place, like it's not even a choice anymore, like about whether we do this or not. Like, like this is our mission, this is our path, this is who we are and what we're doing. And it's almost like an obligation. I don't know a better word for that, how to phrase that, because that sounds like it's a negative. It's not. Like we are being called forward into what we are here to do, and it feels so magic and so right. Whereas at the start, because we had all of that other crap sitting on top, it was like, ugh, are we doing the right thing?
And I loved what you said, because it's like what we're called to do. And it's like, that's such a big difference for me, is like what we want to do. And so it's like moving towards that and trusting that how we're going to do it keeps unfolding and becoming a little bit more clear. Like I don't need a detailed 17-step plan, which I used to give me a sense of comfort and certainty. I simply need the next best step or decision. Like what's in front of me right now, what's the thing I'm going to do today, and is it going to step me closer or further away from what we want to achieve? And I think, again, that simplifies it so much for me, because I don't have to get too lost in all that detail, and I've got to have, you know, everything sorted out today and done today. It's like, no, I just trust that what's in front of me today is these few things, and I'm going to show up and I'm going to do those few things. And then more will become clear. Like more will become clear to me, to like, right, okay, so then, you know, right, this makes sense to do this next. Or
yeah, and the visual I get from that, I'm quite a visual person, so in my mind I'm seeing like a huge body of water, and like we're on one tile, and all that you like, as we're putting our foot out, the next one becomes clear. There's no more than just that one that's in front of us, and we're not standing here waiting for the next one to come. We're trusting, and the next one will appear, right? And I think that we have, again, because we're together, like, let's be real, we're making this out like it's just all, we're not making it out like it sounds like it's all very safe, but we have really leant in, like, and when I say we're committed and we trust and back ourselves, that level of trust in our tuning into our inner knowing has become so strong that we make really bold moves, knowing and trusting. Like the start of our journey was, we're going to spend some time together, and just knowing that was going to be great. And then going and you did your NLP, and, you know, dedicated 4 weeks across 4 months,
3 months, yeah.
3 months of spending a week away from your family and investing and knowing that that was like having no clue what that was going to be or take you, but knowing that that was where that next paver was, right? And
Yeah.
then again with me going and jumping and going to Australia to breath work, having never done it before, and just knowing, and look where that's taken us now, like the seed that is sown, and then you're going to Texas, just like that was big.
Yeah.
And then what you did in Texas.
And then committing to a 12-month mindset and business coaching program that was going to cost us, $50K. And like, just knowing that, like, hang on, what am I doing here? And at the same time going, there's no way I'm leaving here without doing this. Like, why would I have come all the way here and not make this decision that's right in front of me that feels so right? Like, I sat on it for the whole event, basically, and wow, was there some, swaying in that moment. But what kept just coming back and just feeling so calm about was, this has obviously been put in front of me. This was obviously going to be absolutely transformational. Why wouldn't I?
Yeah, and that's that, like, absolute commitment to trusting yourself, right? And the importance of having the right people in your world, because then you rang me and said,
yeah, and the belief of others, right? Like, Ash, oh my gosh, this is what, like, I want to do. Like, what do you think? And, my beautiful, calm husband who, again, with his quiet strength of like, well, that's what you want to do, you should go for it.
and seeing you and trusting you too, right? Like I can see your potential. It's not looking at you through limitation.
No.
That is just so beautiful.
Yep.
Having people in your corner, because if he had said, oh shit, I don't know, like that's when you get the wobbles on, right?
Well, it was, his words basically to me, after a number of conversations, as he just said, if this is what you want to do, then I support you to, and you must go and do it. And I was just like, boom, it was like, just dropped, and it was like, then that's what I'm going to do. Like, it's... And
was it really about the money?
No, I mean, it was about, am I worthy of showing up into a room of people like them, like, am I really gonna, am I gonna fit in? Do I belong? Like, even, getting the plate and standing in a queue to get some lunch, because then we had a lunch for all of us that had signed up for the Legendary program, and I was just shaking, and this lady in front of me, she was so beautiful, she like turned around and she was like, she's like, it's okay, like, you're meant to be here. And that, right up until those moments where it's just like, holy, like my body was kind of going, holy crap, what are we doing?
Your nervous system was just making sure you were okay, because it's pushing out of your comfort zone, right?
Oh my gosh, yep, and it was,
So I think honestly, from one of the things that I've learnt from all of the times that we have said yes to ourselves, it's never been about the money, because you will always find the resources that you need. If you are committed and you are certain that that is meant for you, you will find the money. Whether it's, I was saying to you before about Taylor Swift getting engaged in this $350 dress and it sold out in moments, I guarantee you that there were people who bought that dress that did not have $350 to spend on a dress. However, they found the money for the dress because that was important to them. It's like the holiday that we all book that we don't have the money for, but we just know that we'll find the money for, or the coffee, or whatever it is. You find money for things that are important to you when you believe.
Yeah, we resource what we want. Like, we will find means and ways of getting in front of, into, like, or getting the things that we need. And so it's, I think so many people will allow, and I did previously as well, obviously, like, allow those excuses of like, oh, well, I don't have the money. Maybe I don't have all of it right now, but I've always managed to make money. I have enough money to, get by now. Can I have some trust in myself and my ability that I'll keep being able to make money.
Yeah.
And, I think that's that expansive thinking, right? Like that's like breaking out of the, certainly for me, it was like taking on debt or like, spending money I didn't have was like a big no-no, right? It was like, that's irresponsible.
Yeah, unless I have that whole sum of money in my bank account right now, I'm not going to do it. Instead of like, I want that, I know this is for me, how can I make this work?
Yeah. And so tuning into my intuition and that deep, calm knowing, this is what I'm doing next. This is the chapter. This is the avenue to take things to the next level. And I will find a way of making sure it happens, and unfolds like it should. And yeah, that was a very, very new experience, and now has become a very standard, I'm not going to say daily experience, but like even with the small decisions, right? Like I had it not long ago with something popped up for my daughter during a school day where it was like, oh, hang on, I got to choose. Like, do I go and support Sheena in doing her activity, or do I, keep the plans that I've already got in place here and do what I had planned to do? And it took me a few minutes of like, oh, hang on, but then I'm going to let someone down, like a little bit of story. And then I went, no, absolute clarity. Like Sheena is my 100% my priority in this situation. So I'll just reschedule those other things and I will 100% be there and present with my daughter. And it was like the most beautiful thing, because that's what I wanted so desperately so often before, and I never allowed myself to make those decisions and go where I really wanted to go. And then I regretted it so much afterwards, because it wasn't that I was blind to my insight, I just didn't listen to it. And so it would be crushing afterwards when I would realize I'd made the wrong choice. And that led me, into that darkness, into that need to like numb myself to go even further away, because I was like, I couldn't trust myself. I believed I couldn't trust myself. And now I can. Now I make the decisions that then I can stand proudly alongside and, and be the person I so desperately sensed that I could be.
Yeah, beautiful. And this is where choosing you is actually so important. Like, we think we need to put everybody else before us, like our kids, our husband, our work, all the other priorities, like they must come before us because we're a good person and we're kind and we're generous and we're caring. And it's like, no, like you come first. You need to, when you are aligned and trust yourself and can tune in and actually lead from there, like that, everybody benefits from that. And so if you're sitting there like resonating with this and going, I want to dip my toes in, or I want to explore this more, and you can hear that call, you already hear it because you're watching this for a start, right?
Yep.
Like if you're here watching this,
and you've got this far into it.
Yeah, exactly. There is some part of you that has that knowing that there's more available for you.
Yeah.
And all you have to do is just take one little step closer. And that might look like, I don't know, picking up a book at the bookshop and learning a little bit more. It might be sending us a DM. It might be coming to a breathwork event. It might be, I don't know, anything that you feel called to do. That's one more step in the direction of, it might be waking up at 15 minutes before everybody else so you can meditate, or like just stop. It might be going for a walk without your headphones on and just feeling into what comes up for you. It doesn't have to be jumping into one-on-one coaching and blowing the whole stand apart or burning all the boats. Do you know what I mean? Like my advice for anybody who has got here, got this far, is there is some part of you in there that is calling you forward to something else, and we just want so badly for you to be able to tune into that and listen, whatever that looks like I said, doing any one of those things.
Yeah. Choosing to do something a bit different, like even just being open to the idea that there could be a different way to do things is such an essential first step.
Yeah, so I think some action here. If you're feeling resonated with that and you're feeling called to do something, we would love, send us a DM. We just would love to hear that people have resonated and that that you're like saying, I want to take a step step forward and let us know what your action is. Like, what are you going to commit to? Because when you feel that call, the thing that is going to move you forward is action. It's not sitting in just like the knowing that doesn't move the needle. And if it feels, I know it will feel uncomfortable, and you'll be like, I don't want to do that. And like we said at the start, that means that you should you should do it anyway, right?
Yep. Yeah. I think for a long time I entertained myself and sought out knowledge and wisdom and information, but took no action. And there was no real implementation of it. It was all just entertaining myself. So absolutely, action is essential.
So we look forward to seeing you in the DMs and the comments or the emails, wherever you want to find us. Amazing.